Hello and welcome, dear students. Today we will study a new lesson about communications and cell signaling. So we have amoeba cell, which have a cell membrane and always look for food. When it finds food, it engulfs them by pseudopods. Pseudopods are parts of body which projected into the food and surround it, then it engulfs it. Without the cell surface receptor, the amoeba will not find where the food is. Amoeba is a unicellular organism living in water. It's classified as an animal. So, also we have hormone receptor. For example, we have a steroid hormone which is attached to the cell membrane. Then it bound to the specific receptor. When it bound to the specific receptor, it starts to enter the cytoplasm. Then it enters the nuclear membrane pores. Then it combines with the DNA and transcribed into mRNA, which is translated into protein. Also, the hormone receptor have a specific hormone. It cannot bind to any other hormone. So the receptors are very specific to specific material. Then, if we have hormone receptor, it bend into the surface of the cell for the specific receptor, then it enters the cell. Another example is the insulin receptor. The alpha subunit binds insulin, the signal. So the insulin is the signal. Then the beta subunit transmits a signal from bound insulin into the cytoplasm. Then the insulin signal activates the receptor protein kinase, which domain in the cytoplasm. Fourth, protein kinase form from the receptor phosphophosphorylate insulin response substrate, triggering other chemical response inside the cell. So we got the response of the cell by the insulin, which is binding to the cell membrane, and the cell produces a signal that trigger the kinase. Then finally we have the specific response inside the cell. The insulin receptor, it binds into a receptor on the cell membrane and prohibit glucose Then, beta blockers. The drug had the same shape as the shape of the neurotransmitter, combining with the receptor molecule. It outcompetes the natural neurotransmitter. It binds to the specific receptor of the neurotransmitter and achieve the same effect. HIV. HIV binds to the receptors of the CD4 cell, and it releases its genetic material, the RNA, into the core of the CD4 cell. Then the cell starts to produce new HIV viruses. The HIV-3, finally, the HIV is produced as a protrusion of the cell. Then it's budding from the cell. Then it the cell reuptake the virus. Then the cell membrane degrades and new viruses enter the cell, and new viruses are produced inside the cell. So the HIV structure have a receptor key lock called GP120. Also, it has a reverse transcriptase enzyme, which reversely transcribe RNA into DNA. Also, the HIV virus has a lipid membrane. Then the receptor for everything that fits into the shape, it's called lock and key theory or lock and key model. So the bacteria toxin have a specific receptor, the antibodies have a specific receptor, the bacteria has a specific receptor, the glycoprotein half-life time have a specific receptor, also the viruses have specific receptors. Goodbye and thank you for listening and for following my channel. Subscribe please to allow the channel to spread more. Thank you.